The Industrial Revolution transformed 19th century England into a hub of innovation and progress. But beneath the surface of bustling cities and growing industries lurked the dark tale of Mary Ann Cotton, a woman whose murderous spree claimed the lives of an estimated 21 people. This documentary delves into her life, her crimes, and the chilling legacy she left behind. Mary Ann Robson was born on October 31st, 1832, in Low Moorsley, County Durham. Raised in a poor mining family, her early life was marred by hardship. Her father, Michael Robson, worked as a pitman and was killed in a mining accident when Mary Ann was just 9 years old. This tragedy plunged the family into poverty, shaping Mary Ann's outlook on life. At 20, Mary Ann married William Mowbray, a miner, and the couple moved to Plymouth, where they had 5 children. Tragically, 4 of their children died of gastric fever, a common but deadly ailment in those times. This pattern of death and disease followed Mary Ann throughout her life, raising suspicions only in hindsight. After William Mowbray's death in 1865, ostensibly from intestinal problems, Mary Ann collected a substantial life insurance payout. This was the beginning of a deadly pattern. She soon remarried, this time to George Ward, a patient she nursed. Ward died within a year of their marriage, again from a stomach ailment, allowing Mary Ann to collect another insurance payout. Mary Ann's life was punctuated by a series of marriages and deaths. After George Ward, she married James Robinson, a shipwright and recent widower who needed a housekeeper and a mother for his children. Robinson's children and Mary Ann's own mother, who came to live with them, died suddenly, both allegedly from gastric ailments. Robinson, growing suspicious of the constant deaths and discovering that Mary Ann had been stealing from him, ended their marriage. Mary Ann's 4th marriage was to Frederick Cotton, a recent widower with 2 children. They had a son together, but soon after Frederick died of a stomach-related illness, followed by his 2 children from his previous marriage, and then Mary Ann's own stepson, Charles Edward Cotton. With each death, Mary Ann collected insurance money, and each time, the deaths were attributed to common but deadly illnesses prevalent in those days. By this time, the number of deaths surrounding Mary Ann could no longer be ignored. Her neighbors and surviving family members began to question the string of tragic deaths, suspecting foul play. It was her relationship with her lodger, Joseph Nattrass, that finally led to her undoing. Nattrass became ill and died, but before his death, he confessed his suspicions about Mary Ann to a neighbor, raising alarms about her involvement in the numerous deaths. Mary Ann's final victim was Charles Edward Cotton, her stepson, who died in 1872. The local doctor, suspicious of the frequency of deaths in the Cotton household, refused to issue a death certificate until a proper investigation was conducted. An autopsy revealed traces of arsenic in Charles's stomach, leading to an investigation that would uncover Mary Ann's long history of suspicious deaths. The local police arrested Mary Ann, and the investigation expanded to include the exhumation of several of her former husbands and children. Each exhumation revealed the presence of arsenic, leading to a mounting body of evidence against her. The investigation also uncovered Mary Ann's pattern of marrying, insuring her spouses and children, and then poisoning them to collect the insurance money. Mary Ann Cotton's trial began in March 1873, capturing the public's imagination and sparking widespread media coverage. She was accused of murdering Charles Edward Cotton, though the prosecution introduced evidence of other suspicious deaths. The defense argued that the arsenic found in the bodies could have come from the environment, as arsenic was commonly used in household products at the time. Despite the defense's arguments, the jury found Mary Ann guilty. The sheer number of deaths, coupled with the financial gain she received from each insurance policy, painted a damning picture of her as a cold-blooded murderer. She was sentenced to death, her fate sealed by the overwhelming evidence of her murderous activities. On March 24, 1873, Mary Ann Cotton was hanged at Durham County Jail. Her execution was a public spectacle, attracting a large crowd. Reports from the time indicate that her death was not quick, with the rope failing to break her neck, resulting in her strangulation. A grim end for the woman who had caused so much suffering. Mary Ann Cotton's story remains one of the most chilling in British criminal history. Her case led to increased scrutiny of death certificates and life insurance claims, changing how suspicious deaths were investigated. Her murders highlighted the vulnerabilities within the social and medical systems of the time, leading to significant reforms. To understand Mary Ann Cotton's motives, one must delve deeper into her psychological profile. While financial gain was a clear incentive, the frequency and ruthlessness of her murders suggest a more complex psychological makeup. Some historians and psychologists suggest that Mary Ann may have suffered from a personality disorder, such as Munchausen syndrome by proxy, where a caregiver fabricates or induces illness in those under their care to gain attention or sympathy. However, in Mary Ann's case, it seemed more driven by financial greed and a cold, calculated approach to murder. Mary Ann Cotton's case also sheds light on the social and economic conditions of 19th century England. The rapid industrialization brought about significant social changes, with many families, like Mary Ann's, living in poverty. The lack of social safety nets and the prevalence of deadly diseases created an environment where life insurance policies became a means of financial security, albeit one that Mary Ann exploited in the most heinous way. Her crimes prompted changes in how insurance policies were issued and investigated. The case highlighted the need for stricter regulations and better oversight, leading to reforms in the insurance industry. Additionally, the medical community began to scrutinize sudden deaths more closely, particularly those involving symptoms of poisoning, leading to advances in forensic science and toxicology. The media played a significant role in shaping public perception of Mary Ann Cotton. Newspapers of the time sensationalized the story, dubbing her the Black Widow and the Durham Poisoner. The trial was a public spectacle, and the lurid details of her crimes captivated the nation. The extensive coverage ensured that Mary Ann Cotton became a notorious figure in British criminal history, her name synonymous with cold-blooded murder. The public reaction was a mix of horror and fascination. The idea that a woman, typically seen as a nurturing figure, could commit such calculated and ruthless murders challenged societal norms and expectations. Mary Ann's case became a cautionary tale, a dark reminder of the potential for evil lurking behind a facade of normalcy. The tale of Mary Ann Cotton is a haunting reminder of how evil can hide in plain sight. Her ability to blend into society while committing heinous crimes shocked a nation and left an indelible mark on criminal history. This documentary has explored the life, crimes, and eventual downfall of Britain's first known female serial killer, a woman whose legacy is a stark reminder of the depths of human depravity. Mary Ann Cotton's story is not just a narrative of murder, it is a reflection of the times in which she lived. It highlights the interplay between poverty, social norms, and the burgeoning field of forensic science. Her crimes prompted societal changes and left a lasting impact on how deaths were investigated and how life insurance policies were managed. Mary Ann Cotton's life and crime serve as a dark chapter in history, a story of a woman who, driven by greed and perhaps deeper psychological issues, left a trail of death and sorrow in her wake. As we look back on her life and the era in which she lived, we are reminded of the importance of vigilance, the need for robust systems to protect the vulnerable, and the relentless pursuit of justice. Mary Ann Cotton may be gone, but her story continues to be a chilling reminder of the potential for darkness within the human soul.